All right, welcome everybody to the Wednesday team call. I'm a little bit emotional. I was listening to Inky Johnson Impose Your Will audio on YouTube. It always impacts me and helps me remind me of why we do what we do. I just love that part. I'm glad we got to that part in that video where he talked about why did you go back to that college. And because he did that, his 3 nephews went on to go to college as well. And that's one thing I want you guys to think about in your coach journey. This is not just about you. I know each of you guys have business goals. You have, maybe you want to be elite this year, or you're working towards diamond, or we're going to talk a little bit about Team Cup, and you want to do your best you've ever done in Team Cup. But if the focus is only on you, and you getting points, you earning commissions, you advancing your business, you advancing your rank, when it gets hard, you're going to stop or you're going to quit if it's only about you. If it's about other people and what you can do for other people, you're going to be able to break through those barriers, learn, and grow into the person that you can be to help those people. So that video, I dropped it in the chat thread for those of you guys that are on here, or if you're watch this back, it's Inky Johnson, Impose Your Will. One of my favorites. I listen to it like once a week so I can stay grounded and reminded of my mission. Let me see. I just want to glance through here and see the beautiful faces on here. I see you guys. I see some of you guys in your car, some of you guys at home, some of you guys eating. I love it. If you don't have your video on, I can't remember who said, I was on a team call, a guest one time on someone's call, and they're like, if your video is turned off, it means you're naked. So we're just going to assume you're watching the video naked today. So I hope that made you guys chuckle, brighten your mood for the day. I'm super excited. We have a guest speaker today, Lindsay Livingston. I will give her a proper introduction in just a minute, but I just want to go through a couple of announcements. Coach Summit is coming up, and I say coming up, it's like 6 months away, but it will be here like this. I promise you, it will be here before you know it. If you want to get registered for Coach Summit, it's www.coachsummit.com. It's in Indianapolis. It will be my 8th Coach Summit, and that was my favorite location. It was Gabby's favorite location as well, over every other place that we've been for Coach Summit. Super easy to get around to from the convention center to the place where the workshops are, to the workouts are. The easiest it's ever been compared to any of the other places we've been. Super clean and just a beautiful location and easy to get together as a team. So we want you guys to be there. It's not just for advanced coaches, it's for new coaches as well as advanced coaches. Something I don't think it's really been announced yet, but I want you guys to know is this year the workshops are going to be separated into a sort of a different way or flow, where there'll be certain workshops for, I don't know how they have it broken out exactly, but it'll be like certain workshops that are for emeralds or new diamonds, workshops that are for like 1-star to 5-star, workshops that are for 5-star to 10-star, and so forth, so that you're getting the information that is pertinent to where you are currently at in your business and the training for that. So I'm super excited about that. For the men, there's also going to be there's going to be more men-oriented trainings as well that the men can go to. So it's not just going there and listening to 36 different workshops by women and being like, okay, how does the man do it in this business? So it's going to be really awesome. I've kind of seen an outline of the structure. But one thing I want you guys to know, if you're scared to go and you're on this team call, you should register, because you're on the team call because you want to build a business. But if you're procrastinating, saying, should I go or should I not go, you haven't really made the decision to build your business yet. So that's one thing I want to encourage you guys to do. When you hear announcements, or you hear about Team Cup, or you hear about the Success Club system, make the decision, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to do it. It's one of the first key things that I learned in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. When he was offered to kind of document in like the success habits of all these successful people, I can't remember the number, but it took him like 36 seconds to say, yes, I will do that. And it took a 20-year, it was like a 20-year job to compile that and write Think and Grow Rich. But he made that decision in 36 seconds or whatever it was. It was somewhere in there. It was less than a minute. And afterwards, he was told that if it would have took him more than a minute, he would have gone on and found somebody else to do it. So I always take that little lesson of just making the decision, kind of like Mel Robbins says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Like, comment in the team page. When you see like, hey, Team Cup, who wants to be in it? Just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and put your name down and say, I'm going to do this. If you can get in the habit of doing that in every aspect of your business, from I hate Transform 20 and Shanti workouts to going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push play, before you know it, you've done it and you're like, oh my gosh, that sucked, but I feel so much better. And that's going to happen with every aspect of your life. And what I want you guys to know is that when you do that and you follow through with the commitments to yourself, you build confidence. You don't just wake up one day super confident and say, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do my workout, do all my invites, do all my follow-ups, lead a team page, all of that stuff. That confidence is built by just following through to the commitments that you make to yourself. On the other hand, if you do not follow through with the commitments that you make to yourself, if you say, I'm going to be on the team cup, and then you don't be on the team cup, your self-confidence begins to diminish one step at a time. So just work on, you don't need to know everything to be a 5-star diamond or everything to lead your own team, but just focus on following through with the commitments that you make to yourself. That's how your confidence is going to grow. So we want you at Coach Summit. One thing I want you guys to know is we will help you find roommates. Like I'm looking at Juliana. Juliana, she's not a new coach, but if she was a new coach and Tamara was a new coach, and they're both like, I want to go, but I don't know if I don't know anybody. I don't know if I can afford the hotel room. Every single year, we've just helped pair people together on the team to split the cost of hotel rooms. I've seen 8 people in a room before. Like seriously, Tamara's nodding. She probably had like 5 or 6 in a room before. So it can become very affordable. It's going to be an incredible experience. The author of Girl Wash Your Face is going to be a keynote speaker there. And then you're going to hear from some of the best coaches in the network giving you their best tips. So come to Summit. It also gives you credibility on your social media that this is more than just some little online thing, that it's an actual community of 25,000 people working out live to Shanti and Jericho's new workout that's coming out at that time as well. So that's all I want to say about Coach Summit. Get registered. It's 5 months and 18 days. I took that screenshot today. So 5 months. I said 7 months. It's 5 months and 18 days. Holy crap. So it is sooner than we thought. The next thing is, if you are working on your business and you want to be recognized on stage or have Summit recognition, they give you like a medal for Success Club All-Star. They give you a little badge like Diamond Coach or 1-Star Diamond, all these things. If you want to be recognized at Summit, all ranks you need to advance to the paid rank by June 6th. So if you're Emerald and you want to be recognized as a Diamond at Summit, you need to be a Diamond by June 6th. If you are on a streak with Success Club All-Star, let's say a Success Club All-Star means you've hit Success Club for 12 consecutive months. A Legend is for 24 months. That means you need to have that 12th month or whatever, or the 24th month locked in by May 31st. So there's the windows for recognition, because I don't want you to show up in July, have your goal for Diamond by Summit for July, let's say 8th, and Summit's mid-July on July 11th, and be like, I'm going to be celebrated by Diamond, and then disappointed that you're not celebrated, because you need to have that advancement by June 6th. So my rule when I see that all the time is 2 weeks before that. So like almost the end of May is when I would need to have my goal accomplished if I want to be recognized at Summit. So the next thing I want to talk about, I kind of briefly mentioned already, is the Team Cup. You should be on one. Okay, no stress, no pressure. I've led Team Cups. I've led a Team Cup where we got first place before, and I've led a Team Cup where we didn't even earn the first tier prize before, right? Where we totally just bombed. And I've done good sometimes, but every single time I've learned new things, I've made new accountability partners, and I've pushed my business forward or planted seeds that brought me growth in the future. So basically, for you that are brand new, a Team Cup, I'm going a little bit long on announcements today because we have the Team Cup, but I want to make sure that you guys get on a Team Cup. I was encouraged by my coach, Lindsay, and I did the same thing I told you guys at the beginning of this call. Lindsay's like, Scotty, you want to be on my Team Cup? I'm like, sure. Sign me up. What is it? But I said yes first. I'm in. And I'm going to tell you what that did. As I started my business in April of 2011, I hit Success Club my first month. I hit Success Club my Success Club 10 my second month. And then Lindsay says, you want to be on my team? We're going to win this thing. And I'm like, I'm in. Sign me up. And we start working together. And I'm going to tell you guys what happened. We ended up getting first place. Like I got like a cool iPod Touch. Like I've never owned anything like that in my life at this point. Because I didn't even have a laptop or a smartphone when I signed up as a coach. So that was pretty cool to win that award. But you know what was even cooler is I hit Success Club 35 and that was my third month as a coach. I went diamond in that month. I went diamond. I hit Success Club 35. But do you know what it did for my mindset? Is after that month, I said, okay, my goal has been Success Club 10 every month so that I can bring my wife home and earn the free trip, the Success Club trip to the Bahamas. And when I hit Success Club 35, before I was a little bit like, okay, I can do 10, but that's going to be hard. When I hit Success Club 35 in the Team Cup, I said, shoot, if I can do 35, I can do 10 every single month. And now we're at our 94th month in Success Club 10 without ever missing that goal. And that all started with the Team Cup, with the mindset that happened in the Team Cup. I'll share another cool tip. Some of you guys might not know these names. If you don't, now you do, and you should know. You should learn who they are. Our Team Cup was Lindsay Matway, Melanie Mitro, Katie Hefner, myself. And we're all members of the Million Club. We all went on to hit elite in our business, but we were all brand new at that time. We were all 2 to 3 month old coaches at that time. And it all started with that Team Beachbody Cup, and we're all amazing friends like however 7.5 years later. So I encourage you to get on the Team Cup. The prizes are going to be super cool. I'll just read through them real quick so that you can know. I have it right here. Okay, so basically for every Success Club point, this is what the Team Cup is. You're teamed up with 5 people, okay? And you just work as accountability. And every time you get a Success Club point, you get 1 point for your team. Every time that you advance your business, like if you go from coach to emerald, or emerald to ruby, or ruby to diamond, or emerald to diamond, you get 3 cup points. You get 3 points for your team. Let's say Lindsay, she's going to be our guest speaker today. Let's say Lindsay is doing a Team Cup, and 2 of her coaches advance from coach to emerald. She would get 6 points for them advancing to emerald. So that's a way to get points. And then if you register for Summit by February 28th, you get 2 points for your team, for your cup team as well. So that's how you earn the points. That's how that's all calculated. And then the prizes are calculated into 3 tiers. And then there's like the top 5 in the whole company and the number 1. The tier number 1 is you get a portion fix cutting board, which will be pretty awesome. Tier 2 prize is you get Transform 20 thermals shirt. So like a thermal Transform 20 shirt. The tier 3 prize is you get a Team Beachbody pop-up shade tent. So those would be some pretty awesome prizes. So, but you guys know from what I shared with you what the biggest prize is going to be, and that's the belief in what's possible for you and the accountability partners that you're going to be able to build. So get registered for the Team Cup. Just go to the team page after this call and say, I need to be on a Team Cup. There's already a thread there, and we'll help pair you up. The last thing that I want to remind you guys of, if this was announced at Super Saturday or Super Weekend, is the Success Club system. If you're a newer coach or you're a coach that just doesn't have your own system down for what do I actually do every day as a coach, what I would do is just sit down and print out the Success Club system and maybe even laminate it. So you can mark it off with a marker and clear it out each week, or print out 52 of them, whatever you want to do, and just start following the Success Club system tracker. If you go to my YouTube channel, or I put it in our Success Club system training page, and if you don't know where that's at, just reach out to me and I'll add you to it. There is a video that Micah Folsom did that steps you through each of these activities and how to actually do that activity. And so you could literally, as a brand new coach, if you don't know anything about what to do as a coach, print out this sheet, watch that 20-minute video, and you are well on your way to just taking the very first steps. And it's going to be the best if you're out there saying, okay, I want to start training my team. I want to start training my coaches. This is what you want to use to hold them accountable. Teach them to do these activities and hold them accountable to checking in with you on these activities. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. You can download it in the Team Beachbody website. I actually just took this screenshot from the Beachbody Champions Facebook page, like 10 minutes before the call, so you can find it in there under the units section. It's also in our team training website as well. So I'm going to announce Lindsay now, but I'm going to drop this in is anybody here not registered for the team website yet or have access to it? Raise your hand if you are not a part of it yet. Okay, I see a couple. So if you check the chat box right now, there is a link to register for the team training website. Like, I have a step-by-step Success Club system training that you can go through that has that video from Micah. You can download it. The first unit is download this sheet. The second unit is starting to train you on Be Proof the Project's work. The second unit is train you on how to connect, invite, and follow up, and so forth. So that's there for you guys. I want to make sure you guys know about that. Okay, enough for me. You guys came here for Lindsay. So I'm super excited to introduce Lindsay to you. I first met her in person in 2015 at a team dinner. I'm always very straightforward and honest. I was actually Lindsay's coach's coach. So she was actually brought into this business by somebody else who decided to step away from Beachbody. And so I took Lindsay under my wing as her mentor and her personally sponsored coach. So it's pretty cool that we have that photo from before. I was just her upline at that time. Now I'm her personally sponsored coach. And then there's a picture of us at Summit in 2017 right there. One thing I'm going to mention, she's going to tell some of her story, but I just remember reaching out to Lindsay, and she can correct me if I'm wrong on some parts of this, but I remember when I first inherited her, I reached out to her. I was like, Lindsay, tell me about your experience with tell me about your results with Beachbody, as on the fitness and health end and on the business end. And I just remember her telling me about the weight that she had lost. She's lost 75 pounds, and she was able to have the confidence to commit in the Beachbody Classic, which you can see on the top left in the fitness competition, even though she wasn't at her goal weight and she didn't look like some of the other fitness competitors. She had the confidence to stand on that stage and show off her transformation like that. And to me, I saw that, I was like, that is a huge success. That is incredible testimony of what we can do as a community. And then I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Lindsay, but I was talking to you about your business success, and you shared with me that you were making, and we'll use quotes, only $100 a week you were making, $500 a month. But you shared with me how much that meant to you in giving you the ability to stay home with your little one during that phase of your life. So I'm super excited, but I'm more, the reason she's on the call is not just because of the transformation, but Lindsay helps people with their transformation. She sells a challenge pack here and there. She's been here on the journey. She has an accountability partner. But in December, out of nowhere, she just recruits and brings on 4 coaches to her team and 5 coaches to her team in a 30-day period. So going from not recruiting coaches or 1 here and there to 5 in a month, I'm like, okay, something happened, and we need to know what that is, because I know there's people on this call that might be in that place where Lindsay's at. Or maybe you're 6 months in and you're like, I haven't gotten momentum yet. That you can get some inspiration from Lindsay, who has been here since 2015, that's just starting to get that really good momentum in building her business. And it's almost 4 years later. So with that being said, Lindsay, I am going to unmute you. You are unmuted, and it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun to go back when you told me to find pictures, and I was looking back at everything. I just had so many aha moments. So that was super fun to do. And I'll be super honest, I had a speech planned out for today because I've been super excited for this call, and I was reading it this morning and I was like, this is BS. It does not sound like me, so I am winging it. I did leave a little bit of notes, but for the most part, I'm just going to talk to you guys because that is what I do best. So a little bit about me. How I got started was I was soon-to-be single mom, and I actually had no idea what Beachbody was. So I'm a little bit unique because a lot of the time people sign up as a coach because they've been using the programs for a little while. myself, I've actually didn't even know anything about it. I didn't know what Shakeology was. I didn't even know it was a business. At this point, I was about 5 days away from having my son. And I was just stripped from my confidence and self-worth. I knew I was going to be raising this little boy on my own. So I'm on Facebook and I see this ad. And at this point, I was into health and fitness. I was a CrossFit junkie. I worked out my entire pregnancy. But I just wanted to be part of something that could keep me motivated. Once baby was here, January baby, on my own, I didn't want to, my fear was to get into some type of funk or depression or something. So I wanted to find something, but at the time I couldn't afford a whole lot. So I couldn't afford to become a CrossFit trainer the way my CrossFit trainer wanted me to be. It's thousands of dollars to become one, if you didn't know that. So I was a little bit discouraged in that sense. And then I was on Facebook and I remember the ad specifically. I could probably even tell you exactly what was on it, but it said looking for coaches in Canada. And it was our superstar trainers holding up a Canadian flag. It was a really cute ad. And I just remember filling out as if it was a job application. And my mentor coach at the time reached out right away and asked me kind of what I like to do for fitness. And the next thing you know, I'm signed up as a coach with a full challenge pack. Like at this point, I don't have 2 dimes to rub together, but I just knew this was something that I had to be a part of. And I still at this point didn't realize it was a business. So signed up with my Insanity Max 30 challenge pack. And next thing you know, I'm off to the hospital to have my son. And I had him via C-section. So when I got home 2.5 days later, my mom brings a box in. And it's my challenge pack. And I was so pumped. I couldn't work out though, because I had to heal, but I started Shakeology right away. I had gained 45 pounds with my son, even though I was working out all the time. Gained that 45 pounds. I felt more pregnant after than I did when I had him. As you can see in the one picture, my stomach was so sore and like saggy. So at this point, my confidence is completely gone. And, but I was really pumped with this challenge pack. So, as a new coach, you get this little brochure that says, welcome to new coaches. I felt like a little light inside me flicker. And at that point, my coach at the time called me and we had our first one-on-one call as to what coaching was. And I was blown away that it is an actual business. And it is just something that, first of all, I was always working for people. I was always creating someone else's dreams and working my butt off to have other people's dreams come true. So I couldn't imagine myself being my own boss. But at this point, I was already all in. So we were home for about 3 or 4 days, started Shakeology, and I actually started training. So as my little guy is sleeping, we're up at 4 a.m. feeding, I started my coach training. And I'm drinking my Shakeology. I'm doing all the vitals except for personal development. I honestly thought it was BS. It wasn't for me. I don't need no self-help books. Are you kidding me? So I really fought on the personal development for a really long time. But for me, Shakeology was working. I had dropped a bunch of baby weight. I was able to start working out and I was feeling really good. I started hitting Success Club. So that really gave me the confidence to keep going. But at the same time, my self-worth, I felt drained every night. It just still wasn't there. So I started giving into personal development a little bit more, but it was personal development that my coach was sending me. It didn't make me excited. I felt like I was doing homework. It felt daunting, like that book is just sitting there. It was a lot of like network marketing building at the time. How to be a millionaire in like 5 days, just like books like that. I kept putting them down, picking them up, and they honestly started making me feel really, really discouraged. So again, I don't need no self-help books, put it away. But at some point, my business just wasn't really going anywhere. I was definitely rocking on the losing weight, drinking my Shakeology, but I really wasn't building a huge income. But at the same time, I'm just going to touch on what Scotty said. I was supposed to go back to work after 3 months of having my son because I couldn't afford to stay on mat leave. Even though in Canada we get paid, but it just wasn't enough income for me to stay on full time with him. So I had planned to go back to work after 3 months. And with hitting Success Club 5 every month, that income was enough to pay the rest of my bills. So I actually ended up with a whole year of mat leave. And by the end of that year, I was bringing in that $600 to $700 a month, which to a lot of people, when you want to think of this as a job or a career, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that, and it still is for us, it's life-changing. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. I remember my first check was $34, my first week. That paid for formula. So that was just huge for us. Now that is like my savings account. If I'm pinched for groceries, things like that, but it allows me to pay for like preschool for my son, daycare. I'm a single mom, but I don't work full time. So that's a huge one, a huge win. So I just want to touch on that before I keep going into my personal development and how much I resisted it. So my coach is really, really pressuring me at this point. And again, Scotty at this time was not my coach, was really pressuring me and the YouTube videos and how to develop a podcast. And I'm barely sometimes able to hold my head above water because I'm raising a child on my own and trying to start this business. And you want me to do what? I can't do these things. So my confidence really started to take a hit. And thankfully at this time, my success partner came along. And one thing I want to talk to you guys about after is why success partners are so amazing. And she truly is my best friend. So Beachbody has definitely given me that. We actually started our business the exact same time. So with personal development, I finally started like Googling it, and all of a sudden these self-help books starts coming up. And I don't know about you, but if I'm I'm from a small city. So if I am at the local bookstore in the self-help section, I'm not feeling too good about myself. But then I finally started to just give into this. And so a few things that you guys can write down right now is how to really figure out what personal development is for you, because what is working for one person is not always going to work for the other person. So I started writing down what I'm lacking. I'm lacking confidence. I'm lacking self-love, self-worth. I don't remember the last time I did self-care. Then all of a sudden this personal development started happening. I started finding books that spoke to me, like Girl Code. Hey, I can get behind that. I'm a girl and I'm trying to build a business. I just started finding podcasts that really spoke to me. And eventually I was doing 8 hours a day of podcasts sometimes. I can listen to it when I'm folding my laundry or in the car or whatever I'm doing. When I do have time to read, I definitely will pull out the books, but podcasts for me and YouTube videos, training videos are definitely my go-to. So if you're struggling with personal development, you have to really figure out what is working for you. So if you have a ton of books that are about building businesses or creating $1 million empire overnight, I think it's time to switch it up. Make your list of what you're lacking, and go start finding personal development for that as well. So I hope that helps everyone with the personal development. If you have any questions, just pop them in the chat bar and I'll get to them after. Perfect. And so along with my personal development, I want to talk to you guys about excuses because I am the queen of self-sabotage. Before Beachbody, when I was about 17 to 20 years old, I had gained over 100 pounds. And that is just a whole lot of excuses, a whole lot of unhappiness. So excuses are usually to do with your lack of self-confidence and lack of self-worth. Excuses are fear, and we are truly scared to take the next step and the next level when we have all the excuses in the world to justify why we can't do something. So a lot of time when people hear my story, they think I have all the excuses and they're damn good ones. But if I fall into that, then I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to be a role model for my son. I'm not going to pave the path that is there for people. I'm not going to be helping the women that I am helping on a constant basis every month. So when I think of excuses, I think of self-sabotage. And usually what happens is when I'm on a roll and I'm really feeling good, the self-sabotage wants to creep in and tell me I'm not good enough and find excuses. Like right now we're going through this waking up at 3 a.m. phase. I'm tired. So I can use my I'm tired excuse. My kids are busy excuse. I don't have enough time in the day. I have to work full time. Whatever the excuse is, maybe you had an injury. Maybe you are so overweight like I was that you can barely walk some days. Maybe your medication is making you feel anxious or sad. There's every excuse in the book, and some of them are actual excuses and they are justifiable, but we have to be able to work with them and push forward to truly lose them. So this ties in with your personal development. Every time that I'm feeling like my excuses are growing larger by the day, I make my list of what I'm lacking. Am I lacking time? Am I tired? So a lot of my personal development is unique because it's not just about books. And when I first started, that's what I thought personal development was a whole bunch of books on telling me to do something that I didn't feel I wanted to do or that I was even capable of doing. So I always lean on my podcast. Rachel Hollis is one of my favorites. Find Your Happiness, just things that make me feel good about myself. My personal development every single day lights my soul on fire. Every once in a while, I'll go to the gym for an outing. Like I said, I'm a single mom, so sometimes I just hit up the gym for a quick little run on the treadmill. And sometimes I'm like laughing or crying or I'm stopping because my personal development is just singing to me, and it makes me want to do better and it makes me want to push more. So that is what your personal development should be doing. And personal development is also has to do with your self-care. So if you're not taking care of yourself, then you need to make a list of things that you can do to do that. So I do a lot of energy work. I have someone that does Reiki for me. I do a lot of like essential oils. And as I'm doing my essential oils and my feel good stuff, I have my personal development in the background talking to me and telling me that, yes, I can do this. It gives me ideas. It gets my creativity flowing. That's what personal development should be doing for you. So if you feel like every day is a new excuse for you, you don't want to hit play, you don't want to take the 3 minutes to make your shake or invite and reach out to people, you need to start creating your list of what you are lacking and what you need help with. And you need to find personal development that's going to help you with that situation at the time or with the topic. So my personal development is always changing. Sometimes I make a list every week as to what I need. So right now, sometimes it's just that lack of confidence to reach out. I'm really good at reaching out when it comes to that challenge pack and getting people into our community. But I have that lack of confidence to say, hey, join my team. Because you know what? When you're not that 6-figure earner yet, or you're not that elite coach yet, and you want someone to join your team, you need to have that confidence, and that the whole personal development will start to get higher and higher for you. And those excuses and self-sabotage is going to start to diminish just more and more. I'm just reading all of this. I'm going to have to go back and read our chat. But Scotty, is there any questions so far that you've seen in there? If not, then I'm just going to keep going. Yeah, meditation is a big one for me as well. So once I started tapping into the personal development that was working for me and being creative with it, I even have like next month, we're doing a female entrepreneur, and it's an all-day event. That to me is a great dose of personal development. Eating healthy, fueling myself, whatever I'm bringing around our environment and bringing into our home all has to do with that personal development, self-care, and feeling good. And anytime that you're feeling good and you're feeling on top of it, those excuses are going to diminish less and less. Excuses are fear. And a lot of the time, we give too much power to other people. Okay. So if you are starting to really care too much what other people think, you need to lose that, because what other people think of you is none of your business. And for me, and this is where it came, where all of a sudden I'm recruiting 5 coaches in less than, it actually worked out to be less than 3 weeks when I did that last month. I promised myself going into 2019 that I was going to stop. I'm trying not to swear on here. I was going to stop giving a shit what anyone thought of me, because their opinions don't pay my bills. Their opinions don't make me grow. So that was my biggest thing that I wrote on a sticky note last October, because all last year I started losing myself. And a lot of it was because I was shooting for some really big goals, personally and career-wise. And I had too many people around me with too many fears and too many opinions, and I was letting that drag me down. So put that on a sticky note. Stop caring what other people think. It is none of your business. And that was my biggest shift going into 2019 and building my team. So I know I'm not an elite coach, but I am worthy of building that team and leading women on doing the exact same thing that I am doing, because we love it and we love helping people. So that for me was the biggest shift. And that is something that my success partner, Christine, and I are working on every single day, is just losing that excuse that really caring what other people think. So if I post something and someone makes a comment, or I even had it recently where my sister stopped following me, but it is what it is. I know that I'm truly leading with a grateful heart and doing what I do with love and passion. I'm not out to hurt anyone or belittle anyone. And I know that that's okay. So if people need to stop following me or take a break from me, that's on them. And it's none of my business why. That was my biggest shift going into 2019. Awesome. So I'm just going to finish off with my biggest thing too is I lead with self-love. If you don't have your self-love, and if you have no idea how to even start, again, your personal development, find something that just sets your soul on fire when it comes to that, because self-love is key. I don't get out of bed if I don't love myself. I can't be the best mom or business owner or anything like that if I don't love myself. And there was a few dark times where I didn't, and my business and my health and my mindset definitely reflected on that. So I just wanted to end with that. When I first started writing the speech out, man, did it sound corny and cheesy. And a lot of time when my coaches ask me, like, what do I need to do? And I'm like, girl, you need to love yourself more. They're just like, what? No, give me a worksheet. I'm like, no. You need to fully love yourself more, because that is what's going to get you out of bed. That is what's going to have you press play. And that is what's going to fuel your mindset to want to do these steps.
I love that, Lindsay. I want to wrap up with a couple things, but can you see if you can answer a question real quick?
Yes.
Ashlyn, she lives here about 30 minutes from me. She's a new mom with about a 1-year-old. She says, how do you manage your time with your little guy? I find I schedule time to sit down and work, and I struggle with focus. I will get in the zone, and then my 1-year-old son will interrupt me. Did you ever have moments like this?
100%. So it's just my son and I have an amazing support system. His grandparents love him. I have a great day home lady, but I also, I'm really bad at being a workaholic. So my goal is to not work 7 days a week. Being a single mom with just the one income, a lot of single parents that I know have to work 7 days a week, 14-hour days. So I'm blessed with the sense of I'm my full, my own boss. So between coaching with Beachbody, I also own an aesthetic business as well. So it is unique, but oh, this is going to sound funny. I've trained my child. So it's us. And if we want to do things together, and I don't want him being in a day home all day or anything like that, I have created boundaries with him, and I've started that since he was little. So I remember when I first started being able to work out after my C-section, I was about 6 weeks healed. And I just remember that little baby being in the corner watching me. So he was my Insanity Max 30 baby. By the time he could roll around and crawl, he was like trying to do the moves, and he pretty much knows all the moves, and he's 4 now. But there is times where they push the boundaries. There is times where I do need to take the day. He's at his day home today. This is my Beachbody day. So there is times where you do need to ask for help. So whether that means your kids go to a sitter for a few hours, or maybe your grandparents can take them for a while, but set up your schedule just like anything else. If that means you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're a working mom or working parent, whatever your schedule is, if you need blocks of time during the week, you need to be able to ask for help. So if that means that you invest in a sitter for 4 hours a week, and those are your 4 hours to really crunch down. But for the most part, like when I'm doing my workout in the morning, that's his time he gets a little iPad for an hour a day. He'll have his breakfast. I would say 90% of the time he's working out with me. I have a few challengers who get really frustrated because they have this toddler on them. But at the same time, it really teaches us to practice the pause and to show up for them because they're watching us. So we have our Shake. He's been on Shakeology now since he's 10 months old. So he's part of it. So if we're shooing away our kids, they're not going to be able to create this lifestyle that we want for them. So I really encourage you, trust me, it tests your patience every day. Now that mine's 4, he's almost 50 pounds. He still wants to be on my back when I'm doing my squats, but it makes me a stronger mom. It makes me that role model. So when I'm not there, when there's chips and there's pop, his choice is the veggies. His choice is asking for water instead of juice at the day home. So I hope that helps with that question, but you do have to ask for help. So if that means that your kids have to be out of the house for a few hours a week, figure that out as well.
I love that. I'm going to touch on that because, I was in a place working 12-hour days with Gabby gone at one point when I built my business. I had to I'm going to put this in the excuse category just a little bit because, like, for example, I was so committed to hitting Success Club 10, helping 5 people every day. My mission was basically I'll help as many people as possible get results with P90X and Insanity so that my wife doesn't have to work nights anymore, and so that my family can sit down together for dinner at night, because that wasn't happening for the 4 or 5 years that we were married. And so there might be a little bit of short-term sacrifice, but hey, if I wouldn't have done that, maybe even today, we would still be working separate shifts. Even today, I wouldn't have my 2 sons had I not made those short-term sacrifices at that time. And our schedule, just like a recap, was me going to work at 5, getting home at 5, but I would pick up my 3 at the time, little girls from the neighbor's house right next door here at 5, because my wife went to work from 3 to 11:30. So she would drop them off. So when I built my business, I was coming home from a 12-hour stressful shift running a service department to take care of 3 little girls under the age of 4 or 5, like 4 and a half, by myself, feed, bathe, read the books, put them in bed, and then I would work. And sometimes it took longer to get them to bed, or they would come out of the bed, or they would be screaming. And I just had to do the best I could, but I had to sacrifice sleep, because I could have said, oh, the kids are not getting to sleep tonight. I had to stay up later a couple of times. Usually when I napped on my lunch break, I worked that solid hour on my lunch break because I'm at work and I have an hour lunch and I have no kids and no wife there. So you can find, when you're really committed and you really make the decision, you can find the time. You can find the time to make that happen. In the team calls that I was on, led by my coach, Lindsay, like I had it on our TV that was hanging on the wall connected to the laptop. And almost every team call, like nobody could see me because I'm changing diapers, washing their faces after eating and getting them ready for bed, because it was from 7 to 8 and I work on getting them to bed from 7 to 8. But every week I plugged into that team call and the kids were there and I'm bouncing 2 babies and 1 screaming in the background, but I just did the best that I could. And so sometimes just following through doing that. Now, fast forward to today, my kids are in my workout videos. it actually gets people to actually comment on my Instagram stories, because like, oh my gosh, your son shaking his butt in the video was so funny. And then what is that? It's a conversation starter where I didn't have a start before. So if you can integrate them into your life, into Beachbody, and not separate Beachbody and kids, and make it like I eat, live, and breathe family and Beachbody, and they're all just intertwined, I think you'll find there's success that way too. And then just follow Lindsay's advice on blocking out time, making some sacrifices here and there, to have the time to really crunch down and crush it on some things. For me to do that right now, like this is my full-time job, but like when I built the team training website, let's say, that was a lot of work. I was in the habit of, for 2 years of waking up at 7 with my wife and kids. I had to wake up in order to be focused and make that happen and not get my mind all confused about this page linking to this and this document to here. Like I had to be focused, and I had to do it with a sacrifice. And that was, I still stay up and watch shows with Gabby till midnight, and I had to get up at 5 every morning for 2 months to make that happen. So whatever it is, getting up earlier, doing it during your child's nap time. If you have a to-do list, use your success tracker so you know exactly what you're supposed to do, and do it during those times. You'll find that you can do it. So
yeah, I was just gonna say that too. There was a lot of times where I got up at 5 or 4:30 before he did. Obviously, when they're little, they nap a little bit longer, so I definitely utilize, because all I wanted to do was nap during that nap time. But I made sure that so when I gave myself more of a schedule, that is when it really happened for me. I'm just going to touch on the mom guilt. I still have that. It is one of my biggest excuses, is mom guilt. But a lot of the time I have to just remind myself that I am not like the other moms, and you're not going to be like the other moms. That is our unique part of it. So maybe, and I actually give myself the biggest mom guilt every birthday, because my birthdays for my child are not Pinterest worthy. They're not these magical birthdays that I see all over the internet, and it makes me feel bad. But again, this past year, I've lost what I really don't care what other people think. So it was go buy a cake. I threw some dinosaurs on it. It was just a really small, intimate birthday. Because you know what? Like that, I want my child to remember that he had a really hard, or has a really hard working mom. And one day when he gets older, I want him to be able to just have the confidence and the courage to do whatever he wants, and to never feel like he's not worth it or good enough, because he's watched me every single day bust my butt to make this happen for us. So anytime that mom guilt sneaks up on me, I just remember why I am doing this.
Yeah. Sorry, we're just going to keep touching on things because this call is just so awesome. When you're talking about that, and I'm reading Tamara's comment, I always think quality over quantity. And I struggled with it really hard because I'm like Lindsay, I'm a workaholic. Like if Gabby would let me, I would be in here from 5 until 10 p.m., 5 in the morning till 10 p.m. tonight. And I could have people to talk to, phone calls to do, video chats to do, team calls, content to make, all of that stuff. And so that's how I was in the beginning. It's more so in the beginning with this deep desire and passion and hope that there was something better for me. So that drive is even more fierce at that time. And so Gabby's love language, and this is a book, Gabby's love language is quality time. Mine is words of affirmation. So Gabby could just pop her head in here and be like, you're killing it for our family. Thank you. You're the best husband in the world. And that's all I need. And I will be happy. Her, on the other hand, she needs me to sit down, look her in the eyes, talk to her, play Uno with her, watch a show with her and rub her feet, like quality time. So the mistake I was making, Tamara, because it's similar, like 10 days, that's all I had with my wife, because she worked nights and she was home 2 nights a week. So that's 5 weeks, that's 10 days. I would see her 10 days a month. Aside from the quick drop off sometime or running in to get a cookie from the Hilton Garden Inn where she worked the front desk. So my problem was when she was home and I would spend the time with her, I still worked on those nights, but it was like, okay, from 8 to 10, let's have a movie night. And then from 10 to midnight, I would work on my business because I worked on my business every day. But the problem that I ran into, I created my own guilt. Well, I didn't really have guilt, but she helped me feel the guilt, which is a good thing. That's what she's there for accountability, is I would be there with her, but I would be on my phone to the side watching a movie, being like, checking in on the challenge groups, liking, commenting. So I'm not present with her. And so she was just very straightforward with me on that. I'm just saying, hey, you need to put that down. This is my time. So I had to get good at putting my phone, because it's so tempting to just pull it out. So I had to just keep it in another room altogether. So if you're experiencing things, work on more quality over quantity. And the same thing will go with the actions that you take in your business. It's not how many hours you work, but the quality of time and effort you put into your conversations, into the things you're doing over working for 12 hours. So for example, right now, I feel we have the most momentum, the most physical transformations in our team. The last year we had probably the most diamonds move from diamond to star diamond in the team. And I'm physically working less than I was before and doing exactly what Lindsay said on self-love. Like today, I was in the sauna I did a workout with my friend at the gym. I came home, spent time getting the kids off to school. Then I did Transform 20. And then I sat in the sauna for 30 minutes before I ever did anything. And it's that self-love that helps me show up the very best that I can. So when I do show up to a conversation, it's with intention. Like I'm aligned, all the self-love I need, and I can show up better. So the same thing, Tamara and Ashlyn, who originally asked that question, like if you do the things we do as coaches and you fall in love with the process and genuinely helping people, you're going to be a better person and stronger and love yourself more, which is going to help you be a better mom and a better wife to your kids, and give that more the quality of time to them that they need over the quantity of time. And I think that'll be a huge thing.
Self-love is survival, and so as soon as I feel any guilt, so with myself on my vital behaviors, beside personal development, I have /self-love. So whatever makes me feel good, putting myself first, I used to feel so guilty for, but it's everything. And losing that guilt. So if you're always feeling guilty, you're not loving yourself enough. So that is something that I have to work on every single day, but I'm working on it. So it's being mindful too of those little voices in our head, because that is fear.
And that's where the self-love comes from, where you can actually identify those things that are holding you back or the feelings that you're creating. In December, like the busiest time, what most would say is the hardest time to sell, because it's the holidays. I helped my mom build her business from Emerald, just 2 coaches, to Diamond in 3 days, actually 2.5. One of those days, I was hunting. Like I was out in the desert doing what I love, watching the sunrise, hiking. And one of those 2.5 days, I was doing what I love most to do, which is be in the outdoors. Like I think about it, if I would have been here stressed out about it at my desk in front of a computer, which I don't love, maybe I wouldn't have been as effective in sending the voice memos as I was out watching the sunrise, saying, hey man, I've been thinking about you and your transformation and the things you told me you want to accomplish. Have you ever thought about this? Right? And that all stems from doing things that I love. I think a lot of people burn out in a business or fall off track because they're not doing things that they doing self-love things. Like mine is being outdoors. Mine is being with friends. That's why I went to the gym with my friends. It's not because I needed an extra workout. I needed to be with a friend, with another human in person other than just my 5 kids. So that's going to be a huge thing. I'm going to touch on something I typed, and then we'll close this thing up before it hits an hour. The personal development aspect that Lindsay hit on, so powerful, because I think about myself. Here's something I was struggling with really hard, and that was holding me back in my business. I know it's 100% the reason that I haven't helped build a superstar diamond, 15-star diamond team yet, is because I'm such a workaholic. I have a to-do list, and I have this many people to reach out to, this many people to follow up, this call scheduled. And let's say I have 5 calls scheduled, and that whole to-do list is I would wake up and I would look at my calendar and see that to-do list. And then I would see how many people commented in the team page or in the challenge group. and all these live videos, and I would see like 10 texts, and I would look at it and we create the feelings. I would create overwhelm. Like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do today. Like, I wonder what they want to talk about. I already have this many calls. I can't really, and I would just create this tension and this overwhelm about the text or how many messages were in my inbox. And it was just a simple, from a meditation, not even a book, of sitting there, like breathing deep, feeling my lungs fill with air, all that funny self-love stuff, where I was like, Scotty, you have 5 people that want to talk to you today. And who knows what all those, those messages that are in your inbox could be the next person that you get to help like this. Like, how incredible is it that you have the opportunity to respond to that message today and build a friendship? You see how simple that difference was than, oh my gosh, I got so much to do, to creating like, oh, look at what you get to do today. You have the opportunity to listen to somebody's story and give them the tools and support to change their life, right? So guys, we will let you guys go because it's been an hour, and we'll let you guys get back to your families, back to your inviting, whatever time it is of the day for you guys. But thanks for being on today. This was probably one of my favorite calls. So thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone that opened up and asked questions today. I love you guys. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. And I'm so grateful that God brought each of you guys into our lives. So guys, let's go out and change some lives. We'll see you guys later.